I didn't do it. Okay, no comment. I've no comment. That's it. I told you, look. I've no comment.
Long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way. It gets further day by day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. When Friday night comes around and he's only a devil fighting.
Rock and roll.
Like a letter home, I'm too tired for writing.
You still here?
Long way from Clare to here. It's a long way.
Long walk. Dressing rooms.
Day by day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here.
Hello. This is my dressing room. Well, my Eddie's and Paul's and myself's dressing room. Fimber's in next door. He's playing a tape at the moment, his new tape. And we come in here and we play our new tape to ourselves. Because we just brought an album out there last week. And we haven't done a concert with it yet. So we're looking forward when we go home to do the concert with the new songs.
It's where we actually live, you know, for a month of the year when we're on the road. And it's where all the songs are written, all the tours are planned.
All the problems are solved.
All the problems are solved.
And the world puts to rights generally.
Yeah.
Usually in our favour. In fact, always in our favour.
I'll just give you a look at me coat. Look, did you see this? That's the Australian tour.
Last year's, yeah.
Last year's.
That's that sound check finished with. Sound check. Hear that? That's that sound check finished with.
Chicken.
It must be all them chicken sandwiches on it.
The touring has been very hectic in the last few years. We have toured, whoa, unbelievable, you know, like last year, for instance, we did 6 weeks in America. We did 9 weeks in Australia. It's a long time to be away from home, you know. And you're laying your head on a different pillow every night, you know,
Good evening,
different
ladies and
hotel,
gentlemen.
the whole lot.
Welcome to the Philharmonic Hall.
This is all you hear, you know.
Are you sure that's not gin it now or Janet?
Jolly. Oh, I'm always late.
Where?
Actually, you can't be
For
it.
me?
Yes, sir. What?
Look at him with his glasses on. Go on, hide them. He doesn't wear glasses, really. We bought them in
Jock, Woodwards.
Woolworths. You know the ones you go into and you see the little thing. Did you see me? I reckon I look like Noel Gallagher or Liam Gallagher now, yeah? No?
Yes, I can be that. Can you read that? You've got glasses. I haven't got
Hold
glasses.
on, I say home.
Put them on.
Hold on, yeah, I can see it there now. Yeah.
What does that say?
I said, something.
Upside down.
I told you my eyes weren't that good.
No wonder you need glasses.
Okay, boys, we've got Clint's. Ready? Let's go.
Okay, guys.
Right.
Hang on, fly is checked. Yes.
All the best, lads.
I think mine. What do you put the no fly for?
Yeah. Okay, house lights.
Eddie, Numa, Paul, George. Cheers.
I like to drive the band on, you know, and I think the Furries are known for that. As you know, good fast music with heart and sad stories.
Good evening.
No, I'd say with all the guitar playing, I learned an awful lot from my father. And he always used to look at me, he never called me George, he'd say, right boy, let's go, you know, play it. And we were over in Denmark there a few years ago, and I remember the boys at the time wanted me to join the band, and I wanted to stay with my father, you know. And I always had great fun with him. And I was always afraid of him, even when I was growing up, because he was the boss. Everyone knew in the family he was the boss.
This song was written as a tribute to our father, Ted Fury, and he was a great man, great musician, lovely man. The tears have all been shed now. We've said our lives goodbye. His soul's been blessed and he's laid to rest. It's now I feel alone. He was more than just a father, a teacher, my best friend. He can still be heard in the tunes we shared when we played them on our own. No, I never will forget him. He made me what I am, and he may be gone, memories linger on. I miss him, my old man.
He was a great character on the music, you know. He was kind of against me taking up the guitar really, because I was pretty handy on the violin, you know, because he see, everyone was playing guitars in those days, and he was mad into the traditional music, and you know, and he was a bit sad of me taking up the guitar, but I mean, in years to come, I remember he put me aside in the early 70s, and the late 70s, and he said to me, you know something, all them years ago, he says, you were right and I was wrong. He says, you proved yourself. And it was a great thing for him to say to me, and I felt so proud, you know, that he said it to me.
My dad was a very, very, how to say, deep man inside. But I knew he was very proud of all of us, you know. And my mum never stopped showing it. My mum was the opposite, you know. My mother was a very outgoing person, you know. But both of them, as they were like chalk and cheese, but that's how they got on so well, you know. Well, it reminds me of my father actually coming home with a few jars in him, you know, after having a good night out. And coming up the road, you'd hear him, especially on a frosty night, singing Sweet 16, you know, and my mother waiting on him with the frying pan, you know. It conjures that up for me, you know, and it brings back a happy memory, actually.
When first I saw the light in your eyes, I thought this world held not much joy for me. And even though we drifted far apart, I never dreamed but what I dreamed of as I've never loved before. Since first I saw you on the village green, come to me in my dreams of love.
Went off on tour with my father a while ago, just through England and everything, and that was the real eye opener. Just being like, you know, in the hotels and like waking up the next morning and everything else. So that was the trick to it.
My father never influenced me in any way, you know, to go one direction or the other. He was a great influence on what I was doing, but never influenced me to take somebody else's style and study it, you know, or take this style or that style. You know, it made me feel the music that was around him, you know, that he had built around him, his aura. So and that was always around Martin and Anya and Robert, you know, the kids, and same with Eddie's kids. That aura is there, you know, and if they can pick it from it, that's great.
Give a nice wave, quick. I think we're in for a very special night. Without further ado, please welcome Eddie, Finbar, Paul and George, the Furries.
Good evening. That's nice. It's lovely. I suppose we couldn't have had a better friend on the road with us all these years than Gib Todd. Give him a big hand, he's a magic man. I'm going to introduce you to the band so you know who everybody is and who's making all the mistakes. This fella here on my right hand side, that's the baby brother. That's
How he is?
George Fury. And there's George.
Good evening.
This fella sitting beside me here with the accordion. Every family in Ireland has one of them.
Only one.
And
Don't allow two.
He's called the spoofer. You know, a fella can tell great yardens. Some people call them lies, but we call them yardens, you know. And I remember one night we were up in Coventry and this fella said to me, I believe he said you have a great spoofer in the family. I said, yeah. He said, well, I'd like to challenge him to a competition of spoofing. I said, okay. I said, what's the bet? He said, a crate of Guinness. I said, you're on. So I said to Paul, can you handle this fella? He said, no problem. Lay me at him. So your man said, I once, he says, swam up Niagara Falls backways at night time. And Paul says, I know I've seen you. That's Paul Fury.
How are you doing? And welcome. Thank you.
Now, your man at the end there, people ask us why myself and Paul sit down on stage. Well, if we stand up, you can't see him. Because he's the smallest, and he's the oldest. He's also the richest. That fella has his first Holy Communion money hidden. That's Eddie Fury. Eddie.
yes. You know, during the week there, we, you know, going on the bus there, you know, talking about famous bands. Who was your favourite band, and who would you like to hear playing? And I said, well, you know, I'd love to see the Beatles getting back together, but you know, John Lennon being dead, and because they wrote great songs. And Paul said, well, my favourite band of all time was the Rolling Stones. And I said, why? He said, for years when I was a kid, he said, I used to love, he said, Keith Richards. And when I grew up, he said, I wanted to look like Keith Richards. And I said, so what? He said, now he looks like me.
Rich as Keith Richards, I said. Rich.
And I always remember when Fimmer was only 2 years old, he was always narky, you know, sitting down. You know, you get one of these big babbies that keep crying and sitting down.
He used to rob
Never
these
stop,
sweets.
you know. Always keep narking and crying, you know. And our mother was she was a really, really small woman. And she had a terrible, hard job of picking him up in her arms. And she'd lift him up as best she could. And I look into his face and say, you know, I wouldn't change you for the world. And you know something? She didn't. He had the same nappy on for 7 years.
I was afraid to get the one he left behind.
That's the one
you
only
know.
Fimmer Fury. Give me a hand there. Thank you very much.
There'll always be traditional music. It's always there, you know. To call me a traditional musician is an insult. I'm not a traditional musician, and I won't be a traditional musician until I'm 50 years dead. And my father, when he was alive, he played his type of music. I play my type of music, Martin plays his type of music. And I think the word to say that a band are a traditional band is an insult to their intelligence, you know, in music. And like, the tradition is always there. You know, we learn from tradition.
My father bought a banjo. He left the banjo lying around, and I used to sneak in and take it out of the case and play it a small little bit, you know, just bang bang the strings. And then next thing is he bought a fiddle in, and I started playing a small bit on the violin and the fiddle, and it kind of went from there, you know.
When we started playing music, I think it astonished my father in a big way, for a start, because my father didn't realise how musically his family was, because 4 boys growing up playing, you know, 4 instruments, if you like, you know, and then learning how to play other individual instruments, like Finbar could play the accordion, the fiddle, you know, Eddie could play guitar, mandolin, banjo, and then Finbar picked up banjo. And my mother then showed me how to play the accordion, and she played the banjo as well, you know, so it was fantastic. And then Georgie just took off after Eddie with the guitar as well. I've got 3 boys, Eddie, Michael and Vincent. But it's great to see them playing, you know. It's great to see all the kids playing, of all the families. Magic. I'd like to see them as well, which I never had a chance of doing, is getting a trade, or having a trade to fall back on if the music ever went bust kind of thing. I never had a trade. I left school when I was 13 and messenger boy for the first, you know, that's the usual in Dublin. You start off being a messenger boy.
Shouldn't they do it?
Set it down again, Seb.
I think we all relate being a family. We relate to each other because we don't have to think about what we're doing on stage. I mean, I think you saw that at the first gig we done. We hadn't rehearsed or nothing for 7 months. We haven't played together. And we just went on stage and we played as if we were no time off at all. You know? We don't have to think about what we're doing. We just know we get up there and we do it. You know?
The last professional tour, yeah, with the lads. It doesn't mean that we will stop playing music together. Now, I'm enjoying it, you know, I'm enjoying this tour with the lads now, which, like the last tour was a bit hectic, you know, that we did in May. Like, because it was, nobody knew what was going on, and we didn't even know this was going to be the last tour. I wanted to go my way, and the lads wanted to go their way. They were in the middle of making an album. I'm in the middle of doing an album, and I've got a lot of other projects happening, you know, at the moment, you know, and I'm writing some nice songs at the moment that I'm enjoying singing, you know. And we finished up with all the people that actually owned the band, you know, for the last 20 years. That's the record companies, you know. So we quit with everybody around us, so we could be people again, you know. We could come back and be real people again, you know, like we were thrown to the waves of the world, if you like to put it, you know, like our lives weren't their own for the last 20 years. We had a lot of fun with it, you know, too. But there were times when you're in the middle of San Francisco at 5 o'clock in the morning and you wake up and you can't sleep and you have a hairy flight out the next day, you know, and you're thinking, Jesus, I hope I make this tour, I hope I get back. And then along the way, because some of our best friends, you know, in this business have died on the road, you know, in the hotel rooms and things like that. And then you think to yourself, I don't want to die this far away from home. I want to be on home, you know, with the kids and that.
One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two,
One, two, one, two, one, two, test, 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 test. This is the voice of Texas.
Doesn't matter what you play. I mean, you know a good lad who's playing any instrument. Doesn't matter what he's playing. You know whether he's good or bad. This one here was made for me by a group called Dino Perfatti, and they were the new box people in Italy who started off when Paolo Soprani stopped making them. And Dino Perfatti asked me would I sponsor, you know, they would sponsor me for a couple of accordions if I played them on stage. So I kind of said, okay, but I like Paolo Soprani, so I'll play one of your boxes, and I'll play one of these. So, you know, I didn't want to have an argument with any two of them, like, you know.
At the time when they were in the late 60s, when I was growing up, everyone was into guitars. So I took up the guitar and learned how to play it, you know. Self-taught myself and playing it ever since.
Nice sound of it, yeah. Lovely sound, yeah. It's a nice little bone, isn't it?
You say you're going to do more of the flute, you know, the pipes.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to, I'm getting a set of flat pipes made at the moment. Now, flat pipes are...
B-flat?
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I'm trying to get between, like in between a B and a C, so it'll be C flat out.
There isn't anything between a B and a C.
There is, yeah. There's
It's
It's a silly thing to give away, isn't it?
Not at all.
I think the reason we're successful is because we're down to earth. That we're the same off stage as we're on stage. You know, it's like there's very few people you can meet like that. The only one I know over the years that I met genuinely is Billy Connolly. You meet Billy off stage, is the same Billy Connolly as he would be up on the stage, and that's what it all boils down to. I think these fellas that they make it, they strive all around, and then they make it, and then don't want to be known anymore, don't want to mix anymore. I mean, I pity them.
That's a great chorus, goes, and we'll all meet tonight, every child, every woman and man, for we know in our hearts that we'll always be part of this proud and wonderful land. Yes, we'll all meet tonight, and we'll sing as loud as we can of an island so green that can only be seen through the eyes. That's it, of an Irishman.
When I was a boy, round about 3, I remember me grandfather whispering to me. He said, learn to appreciate all that you see, 'cause one day it will mean so much to you. Without realizing the words he did say, for it started me seeing things in a different way. Like the color of the sun going down on the bay, it was a sight I'll never forget. And we'll all meet tonight, and we'll all meet tonight. Every child, every woman, every child, every woman and man. Oh, we know in our hearts, oh, we know in our hearts that we'll always be part of this proud and wonderful land. Yes, we'll all meet tonight. Yes, we'll all meet tonight, and we'll sing as loud as we can of an island so green that can only be seen through the eyes of an Irishman. And the days of my youth.
Where we're standing here now, we're standing on, I call hallowed ground, you know. My father used to bring me here years ago when I was a very young piper to play at this man's grave. And he's known as Theobald Wolfe Tone. He would be the father of Irish freedom. You know, without him, we wouldn't be able to walk these fields, you know, in peace. And every time I come home, I try and pay a visit here, you know, just for memories. Because every year, they have a big gathering here of people who come to commemorate the uprising, especially in the 1916 uprising. And they gather here and play Irish tunes and talk about, you know, politics, and there's like, you get the President of Ireland would be here, and you get all different people who still, and like, you look at the place, it's a place of peace, you know. I think it's one of the most peaceful places I've ever stood in, you know, to walk around here. You can hear them think, you know. I remember one time my father used to teach us a poem about this wonderful man, and we learned it as a song at school, and it's just a little bit. I'll sing you a first verse with. In Bowdenstown churchyard there lies a green grave, and widely around it the winter winds rage. Small shelter is we, though there's cruel walls bare, while the storm clouds blow down from the plains of Kildare. Beautiful song.
sad tour, sad, because it's, you know, I was there at the very beginning when Finbar and Eddie started. I was around when George and Paul joined the band as well. So we've been in a lot of tight corners together, shall we put it that way. You, Ted, well, and Nora, stayed at the house lots of times. Because I've got a half Scottish, half Irish background. And Mr. Fury used to remark that one half of me wanted to go out and enjoy myself and the other half didn't want to pay for it. And he was right.
I started, you know, playing with the guitar in the house, and at the same time Finbar was practicing his pipes. And I think I hit the right key with the pipes, and I said, let's try that song with that, and with the pipes, see how it goes, you know, with the drones and all. And it just sounded great. There's a folk club in Trinity College in Dublin every week, and we invited us down to do a spot, and people just uproared about the sound of the pipes and of the songs, and it was never heard before, and it was a new kind of sound started, you know. And then we went off to Scotland for a few years, and ended up living and sharing flats with Billy Connolly, of course, and the famous Billy Connolly, Jerry Rafferty, and people who went up there. Barbara Dixon, of course, great talent, great singer, great old pal of ours, and our friends, the Corries. You know, Roy Williamson, now the Corries, of course, he's famous for writing Flower of Scotland. And we were on tour with him, the two boys in the car around England, doing a tour with him when he was writing that song. Because he used to write, a verse, and he showed it back to me and Finbar. So we thought of the words, and of course, you know, it's history now. But and then we came home then after a few years, and we kind of started doing tours in Germany, and we started living in Coventry, and we started doing tours around Germany, back and forward to Ireland and back over to Coventry, and doing Holland and Switzerland. And Finbar and myself, we took off over there in a big way with the Germans, because I think we were the first one ever to bring beer on stage. You know, I mean, the first gig we done was in the youth centre in Ludwigshafen, and we asked the fella in the youth centre where we were staying for the night, and he pulled back the curtain on the stage, and there was 2 beds on the stage. So we actually played that night till we fell into bed, and the audience was still in. And they were still there in the morning when we got up.
God is on my mind, getting worse as time goes by. I've got to make the time to see her once before I die. A slow train has no bad and bone, but that will make me cry. Just thinking of your parrot, but I'm drunk enough to fly.
If you were a lass, you'd be my bride, and our love would be a treasure. Ever would we fly beneath the night sky. If you were a dream, my steady sleep, the dreams were made to measure. I'd be dreaming still and I won't drink my fill. Tonight on Target Hill.
I mean, all the boys played instruments since they were, I think, just coming out of the cot. If we had a cot in them days, I don't know. But no, the mother. I mostly sit down with the mother, because the mother used to play the accordion. And I started playing the accordion first, you know. And I used to go busking when I was about 7 years old, myself and Paul. Used to go to all the football matches. And what we do, he played the accordion for maybe a half an hour. And I do the bottling, as it's called, you know, around the crowds. And then I take over then, and, you know, we swap over. Good fun. I mean, even friends coming up to the house, you know, with the likes of famous people in Ireland called Seamus Ennis, and, you know,
all the different musicians over the years coming up. They would have a session in the house, a bit of music in the house. And like there was no TV in our house years ago. So I mean, the only entertainment we had was we made it ourselves. You know? I got on great with all my kids, you know, and they don't really treat me like a father. I'm like more of a best friend than a father. And we always have a session down in the local pub while the wife is putting on the Christmas meal. And we start singing down there, singing back in the car, and then we start the session back in the house. We don't really go to bed till about 6 o'clock in the morning, you know. We do tell the kids that Santa Claus won't call at 12 o'clock the next day. My oldest daughter, Marianne, and my youngest daughter, which is 18, Aoife, they're in a band called Redhead, and a rock band. And they write all their own material. They're very, very good. Now, there's 4 lads and 2 girls, the 2 daughters are in the band.
They've been in England for the last 2 weeks. They were down in Wexford playing until 3 o'clock this morning, and yet they're here to play for us again. Known the world over, the fantastic Fury Brothers.
I think this is our 9th year coming here. I think they'll be doing a concert for us next. And it's true.
This is our 9th year today, and for those 9 years we've had the Fury Brothers with us every year. They have been our top of the bill, our star attraction, and irrespective of where they've played in the world or where they were the night before, the Furies have turned up on the Sunday here, just before Christmas, to play for the people of the parish.
Down at the Red Rose Cafe in the harbour, there by a port just outside Amsterdam, everyone shares in the sun and the laughter, and everyone there is so happy to be there.
The sailors relax with a few pints of beer, and they try on the speak about train. The poet won't write any verses tonight, but he may sing a sweet serenade.
So pull out the chair and forget about life. It's a good thing to do now and then. And if you like it here, I have an idea. Tomorrow, let's all meet again. Down at the Red Rose Cafe in the harbour, we're by the port just outside Amsterdam. Everyone shares in the song and the laughter. Everyone there is so happy to be there. When you go, what is this? Down at the Red Rose Cafe. That's the one. In the harbour. Lovely. There by the port just outside Amsterdam.
I believe there's a God, you know, but I don't believe that anybody has a right to wave a flag that he owns it. He's there for everybody. And it doesn't matter whether you're Catholic, Protestant, or any other religion, you know, whether you're Jew or Muslim or whatever, you know, it doesn't matter, you know. Like this, he's there for everybody, you know, and I think people who grab a hold and say, he's ours, you know, they're wrong, you know. I think he's there for everybody, for the very rich, for the very poor. And I think there's one great thing which comes at the end of your life, which my father always said years ago, that death is a great equalizer. And we all will know one day who was wrong and who was right. But I like to stay neutral, right in the middle, you know, because I do believe there is a God there, because we wouldn't be putting this, I mean, this planet is the brain power of man, and what we are, there's too much spiritualism, you know, going on all over in a human body, you know, to not, there must be something, there has to be something there. And if there's not, well, you know, the Pope turned out to be the richest man in the world, you know what I mean?
And this piece of music is just, I'm going to recite the poem first and then play it. This is what happened to this man. He had to leave everything behind him after he buried his young wife in a bog. Right? But listen to his heart and what he says. She sleeps beside my Galway Bay, my smiling girl, so dear to me. I dug her grave with my bare hands, and I let my tears fall with the land. There was no pride left in dying young, with hope, sweet life and future gone. So I made my way to that leaving quay and said farewell to my Galway Bay. We sailed the bay, my heart in pain. I'd have died for sure should I remain. This blight had taken many lives, it would kill us all, man, woman and child. So little we had, but so much to lose, with no time for prayer, nor what would choose. But in my heart you'll always stay, my smiling girl, and my Galway Bay. We left the bay and I felt the still, where my Maggie sleeps beneath the hill, and above goodbyes a seagull cried, while the tears of going they filled my eyes. May your heart on me forever shine, from where you sleep on my Erin's Isle. And when I'm dreaming far away, I'll dream with you, Maggie, and my Galway Bay.
But we came from a poor background as such at its time, because my father was into show business in a kind of a carnival way, or, you know, and my mother's side of the family, they were all into circus. They were circus people, you know, and my father was the musician of the family more than my mother, so, you know. We started off when we were very young travelling, yeah, and we travelled from town to town, if you know what I mean, and my father put on shows with the circus, and my mother as well, and then the circuses started to go broke, if you like, so everybody started leaving them, and my father had to come over to England then to work, and my mother then had to move into a house in Ballyfermot. So that was a bit of a menagerie for us then, you know, because we'd never lived in a permanent spot before. But it was one of those things. We went to school then, which I think everybody hates school, don't they, you know, especially the first day of it anyway, you know. But that's my early childhood memories of, you know. My wife's a school teacher. She teaches in one of the toughest schools, I reckon, in Dublin. But she loves it.
I ran when I saw Paul. He frightened the life out of me. He had hair down to his waist, and he was dressed in all this hippie gear, and I was very conservative, and I ran. But Paul said I didn't run fast enough, because he chased me for about 2 months and caught up with me. And I got to know him then and really got to like him. You know, the feeling that he puts into it. Paul says to me he makes love to the box. And he really does. They just have this passion for it. I can't understand it because I wouldn't have it. I love it, and they're #1 fan. And then, of course, they grew up together, and one knows what the other is thinking.
This song, I think, above any song we ever did in our lives, will be the one we'll be known for, most of all. And I got it from Gib Todd, and I'm going to sing it for you now. It's called The Green Fields of France. Here we go. Okay. Will you sing it with me? Well, how do you do, young Willie McBride? Do you mind if I sit here down by your graveside and rest for a while beneath the warm summer sun? I've been walking all day and I'm nearly done. I see by your gravestone you are only 19. You joined the great fallen in 1916. I hope you died well, and I hope you died clean. Young Willie McBride was a slow and obscene. Did they beat the drums slowly? Did they play the fife slowly? Did they sound the dead march
as they lowered you down. To the band play the last post and chorus, onto the pipes play the flowers of the fall. Did you leave your wife or a sweetheart behind? In some faithful heart is your memory enshrined? Although you died back in 1916, in that faithful heart are you forever 19? Or are you a stranger without even a name, enclosed and forever behind a glass frame? In an old photograph, torn, battered and stained, and faded to yellow in a brown leather frame. Today beat the drum slowly, today play the fife slowly, today sound the death march as the lowered you down. And the band played the last post and chorus, to the pipes lay the flowers of the fall. The sun now it shines on those green fields of France. 'Tis a warm summer's breeze, it makes the red poppies dance. And look how the sun shines from under the cloud. There's no gas, no barbed wire, there's no gunfire now. But here in this graveyard, it's still no man's land. All the countless white crosses stand mute in the sand. To man's blind indifference to his fellow man, to a whole generation that were butchered and damned. Today beat the drums slowly, today play the fife slowly, today sound the death march as the lowered you down. Under the band play the last post and chorus, to the pipes lay the flowers of the fall. Are you ready, my brain? I can't help but wonder why. Who knows that I hear no why did they die? When did they believe when he answered the call? Did they really believe that this war would end the war? The sorrow, the suffering, the glory, the pain, all the killing and dying was all done in vain. Young Willie, my bride, it all happened again, and again and again and again and again. Did they beat the drums slowly? Did they play the fife slowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? And did the band play the last post and chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the fall? Sing it with me.
Stay around the tattoo.
I like playing here in the UK, you know, when I'm over here. I like playing in Scotland and Wales, and I think Wales is a great county, and Scotland is great, because they're kind of Celtic counties, and they're great people, great hearted people there. And I love playing in Australia. I think the Aussies have great wit and great humour, you know, and it's not a fast country to live in. It's a very slow country, you know, and I said before, we have a great time over there. You know, we live a full life. We go playing golf in the daytime, and we have a few gigs. Especially, I love playing at home. I love playing back home in Ireland. Especially, you throw the golf clubs into the back of the car and head off, This tour is very easy. I wouldn't, compared to the ones in Australia, be 8 or 9 weeks. It wears you down because you're, especially in Australia, it's flying all the time. You know, you're kind of putting everything back on planes, you're taking off planes. Well, same in America. I mean, we done a trip from St. John's in Newfoundland to I think it's Denver. There was 4 flights, and then we left that morning at 5:30 from the hotel, and we didn't arrive until I think about 1:30 or 2 o'clock the next morning in Denver. So I mean, it was this hectic, you know, flying and waiting around. You know, and America's so vast, the airport's so huge. You know, you want the trolley if you get up and down. If you're, you know, if you walk a long way to get to the gate, you know, and you know. No, I like small little countries like Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, because you can drive straight to the door of the pub.
Asher, you can only try.
But we've seen him about 14 times in the last couple of years or so. Shane McGowan we go and follow when he's around, the Dubliners we watched, but basically the Furies are the one.
Well, I remember the night I first spoke to him was in the back room of the Seagulls one night, and it was the first time I'd ever heard Irish pipes and the guitar together, like Eddie and Finn singing. Well, Finn playing, Eddie was the lead singer then, and he just blew me, like, really did.
I knew them a long time. I was dragged up along in Dublin myself. We were all had a hard life over there, and drank all the beer we could, and had a good time.
Let's steal away. No reason left to stay. For me and you, let's start anew, darling. Steal away.
Here we go. Come on.
Steal away.
Let's steal away. No reason left to stay. For me and you, let's start anew, darling, steal away.
Steal away. Let's steal away. let's start anew, and darling, steal away. For me and you, let's start anew.
Before we do anything else, we'd like to thank, first of all, Billy Gorman down there, who's our sound man, and has been with us for the last 20-odd years. Give him a big hand, lovely lad. We'd like to thank yourselves for coming along and giving us a great support. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? Well, there's one thing you can walk away with. You can say it was honest anyway. There's not too many times you can walk away and say that, is there? This day like. We enjoyed the tour. We had a good time. This night was a bit special for us because we're just going to go on ways for a couple of years and see what happens, you know. I want to do it. It's me that's doing it, not the lads. So the lads will be over doing their tour as the Furries. So go along and see them. I won't be with them. I'll be in a different bus. But it's a very special night. And this song is a very special song because this is what started it all off. A song called When You Were Sweet 16. Right, leave it to it. Thank you. When first I saw the love light in your eyes, I thought this world held not much joy for me. And even though we drifted far apart, I never dreamed but what I dreamed of you. I love you as I've never loved before. Since first I saw you on the village green. Come to me, in my dreams of love. I love you as I loved you when you were sweet, when you were sweet, 16. Sing with me. I love you as since first I saw you. Come on, come on. Close your eyes, no one will see you. Come to me in my dreams of long ago. Don't be afraid. I love you. And you're sweet, and you're sweet. 16. From the beginning, come on. When first I saw the love light in your eyes, I thought this boy had not been shy for me. And even though we lived it far, I never dreamed but what a dream of thee. On your own. I love you as I am. The last time crying since first I saw you. Come to me in my dream. I love you.